Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Laufey Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. And today, we're just going to talk about a couple things. A couple more game announcements. One I really want. No, not really an announcement. More of a, was it a final trailer? Yeah, the official trailer. And then this one that I thought was really interesting. And then we'll also get into how California elites will stop at nothing to ensure that Spencer Pratt, or any Republican, never holds any seat of power in California, or really anywhere that they have a supermajority. And if we have time, we'll get into the God of War Laufey situation. I'm mixed on this, which is the only reason I really want to talk about it. And then we'll end the show up with well, Kimmel's never been funny, let's be honest, but let's get into it.
Now there's extra strength Tylenol gel tabs.
Now this seems like it's going to be fantastically disgusting, in like a Ren and Stimpy kind of way, but it also feels a little, if anyone's seen Osmosis Jones, or that episode of Rick and Morty where they're inside the Hobo Santa, this looks a lot like something inspired by all of those things. So, yeah. The animation style screams, I played Cuphead and I wanted to see what that looked like in the Ren and Stimpy art style. I really do like this. And the main character here is a little Ren and Stimpy-esque human, maybe a little bit of Fairly Odd Parents. Okay, so you got two forms that you can shift back and forth between. I'm sure each of them has their perks, maybe. Maybe depending on the surface that you're in. Oh, that's a special power, maybe. That right there, oh my Doug, and then that face that the dude's making. I would have thought that that was like an homage to all of the original Nicktoons. Which I have. Dig it.
Remember, the final piece of the puzzle that we won't know tonight, right, is the late arriving vote by mail.
Which is the main reason why vote by mail has to be ended. There's too much. There should only be a voting day, and the only people who should be allowed to vote by mail are politicians serving in D.C., military soldiers who are abroad, or, well, okay, because when you're in the military, you have a home of residence. So you can have it be wherever you're originally from if you're staying in the barracks. However, if you own a house or if you stay off post, then it's that. So if you're one of the ones where you live in the barracks and you don't have a home of residence in the state that you're in, then that should maybe, hey, Shapeshifter, how you doing? I love that. Just want to sprinkle sugar. Anyway, but yeah, so, and then of course, people who are too sick or immobile should be able to do that, but only with authorized people, preferably a relative, a trusted relative, maybe a power of an attorney type situation. But that's the only exceptions. Everyone else should have to vote on election day or lose the right to vote.
What do these countries and or states have in common? Mexico, Colombia, Texas,
Is it drugs? Is it drugs?
All of the United States until pretty much the year 2000. Even North Korea, same-day election results. California not amongst them. As a matter of fact, I should say, North Korea is so efficient, they announced their election results the day before elections. Pretty much.
That makes it easy, yeah.
Choose your own path. Always go back to same path. So why can't California get anything right, and why are they not able to match the exemplary
Corruption.
standard?
Is it corruption? I bet it's
set
corruption.
by
Corruption?
Mexico and Colombia, where they have 401ks for drug trafficking. It's time for Golden State of Crime.
Just gonna pause it for the. I got claimed twice in the last week. Once for that really awful song that was requested on Sunday, and then another time for I guess Bill Maher, his show. What was that, Monday? Yeah. So I'm gonna be real careful. No more than in a few seconds.
So last night, California primary elections, including governor, and obviously people have been following the mayor of Los Angeles. We'll get to the results, but headline, here's from the Los Angeles Times, is vote count for California governor, LA mayor, could be painfully slow. Don't expect instant gratification. So it's your fault.
We're
you dumb
literally
prick.
handwriting everyone.
I expected instant.
The elitism, it never ends, the elitism. And I know some of you are thinking that's fake. Check the reference. That's why we make these things available every single day when we stream 11 a.m. Eastern. Link is in the description.
It is true. That's why I use them.
Let's look at the results now. But don't expect instant gratification. You know
But
how
I
you
want
always
instant
voted,
gratification.
and you get the result, and that's obviously something that's
Like the moment
necessary
shapeshifter comes into the
and has been
chat.
necessary
She's wonderful.
historically to guarantee
She
the
calls
integrity
me
of the
lovely
election. Don't
names.
expect that. Entitled bitch.
I got to take a lunch
I like
break.
when people call
That's
me
right.
that too.
That's right. I heard a pipe burst. Simmer down. So, Governor, 57% of the vote as of the time of this broadcast, I believe, could have changed
I don't think it was him saying I heard a pipe burst was probably the either worst or best possible timing for him to say that.
since we've been live, has been counted. What we have now is Steve Hilton, the Republican, 28%. Javier Becerra, 25%. Of course, the Democrat Tom Steyer, 20%. Chad Bianco, another Republican, 11%. So right now, Steve Hilton seems to be winning as far as governor of California. And I will say, Steyer, the Democrat, is struggling. His election day post on X may seem to get him over the hump, which, actually brings us to, for people who can't see it, brings us to Gerald Reed's stuff. All right, Billy, get the music. Let's read what he wrote.
Good public transit is key for an affordable city, walkable city. That's why I'm writing the D on election day.
Oh my gosh, this has been Gerald Reed stuff because he can't help himself. Sustained.
I demand instant gratification, Your
I demand gratification. What do you say, Polly?
Exactly. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, or the good with the great.
Did you just watch a pirate movie? Maybe. So now
We all know he loves a good train.
Oh, jeez.
Ain't looking for booty.
yeah. I mean, I thank God. I mean, that Miss, she should be. She has a future doing ads for Ozempic. Katie Porter, her performance was so as 4% that she was, in fact, even though they haven't been called in, she has been forced to concede. Here you go.
Hi, it's Katie Porter. Tonight is election night. The votes are still being counted,
But you hate
and it
me.
may take a few days here in California to have final numbers. But we know tonight that we will not advance
Get
to
the
the general
fuck out of my
election.
shot.
As I look back on this race, I am so incredibly proud of the campaign that we built together.
She then went on to scream to all of her poor subordinates who are unfortunate enough to work for her. She seems like a very angry, spiteful woman who loves to yell and scream when hers don't get her way.
Why?
Yeah. Are you proud of all those staffers you ran through?
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
why are you proud? Did the definition of proud change?
It must have.
It must have. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're so proud
Doing so bad.
at being dead last.
I think she meant it in like the sense of pride, you know? Like she's not proud of her work. She's just saying we're super gay.
Yes. Yes.
That's
maybe
something.
Maybe like proud just means exist. I guess.
Yeah.
Like we did. Hey, we are so. We existed. We so existed at a point in time, and now we're not gonna. She did, however, and I feel partially responsible for this.
Yeah,
She did have to kind of deal with some hurdles, and she didn't mention the Oppo research hit piece that truly sunk her campaign, which came from here.
Hang on 1 second, everybody. I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Come on, guys. This
Jesus.
is sad. This is really sad.
Oh,
Think about
God,
it.
not
now
Ohio.
Our kids have to spend more time with her.
Mom's gonna be home.
Oh, God. Where's Dad?
Yeah, those poor kids.
Give her her staff. She
By the
can't
way,
live without
we
her
have done
staff.
no other scatological jokes throughout this entire show because of the fact that you earn one and it's still funny.
By the way, she got full custody of her kids just so her staff could raise her kids instead of anyone blood related to her. That's a fun one.
Off.
Like most rich single parents, what the fuck?
So let's go to.
I'm so glad the jump ahead included that.
63% counted for Los Angeles Mayor. Karen Bass, 35% is where it stands right now. Spencer Pratt, 30%.
Not bad.
Rahman at 22%.
Ew, New Jersey, the armpit of
just to be clear,
America.
like Pratt should be advancing, right? Well, I don't know. It depends on those magical mail-in votes.
Remember, the final piece of the puzzle that we won't know tonight, right, is the late arriving vote by mail. And we're talking about
course.
Which
probably
will all
like a
be
third
for
of the vote
Nitya
in
Raman.
Los Angeles. We're probably not going to be getting until tomorrow and maybe days to come. after
Tomorrow.
The mail can still
It's
come
tomorrow.
in after Election
Hold on.
Day. And there's indications, and there's certainly a ton of precedent here, that late arriving vote by mail is going to be significantly more Democratic friendly than all of the
You don't
other
say.
vote. Meaning, that would be good news for Bass.
Right.
That would be good news for Rahman. If she's going to come out of tonight behind Pratt, it's a huge if, but if she's going to come out of tonight behind Pratt, well, it's not a huge if at this point.
Her catchphrase or whatever should have been like, "Oh, come on, everyone eats ramen sometimes." I was dirty-minded. I mean, anyway.
Point. She would then have the opportunity, if she's close enough, to catch him with that. But that is a 25,000 vote pad there. 8 percentage points that Pratt has managed to build with that vote by mail here.
Yeah, and they always say, right, those mail-in votes, we're expecting them to lean Democrat. Pretty much always. And so either that's true, which begs the question, well, why would the mail-in votes always be Democrat? Or it's not true. Now I will say sometimes it's column A, sometimes it's column B. In the case of people voting from home, well, it's a lot easier for other people to go out effectively canvass and go, look, just fill this out. We're going to send in a ballot and not verify.
Okay,
It's
so yeah, it
the
ended up being
laziest
Pratt
way
and,
of voting, and it's the laziest way of harvesting
Karen
votes
Basora.
from people who don't care but can be bought for a sandwich. So 80% of votes are cast by mail. This comes from the New York Times in California. Ballots received close to or on Election Day, as well as those postmarked by Election Day and received within 7 days, can take up to 30 days to be counted. Why?
I gotta say, the weirdest, complete side tangent. Someone said that dirty-minded, they thought it was the sound of a woman moaning. And my first thought went to the weirdest moan I ever heard was when I was in the military. We were when we got to Afghanistan, my first tour. we had to stay in like a 20-man tent with bunk beds, so there was 40 guys in there. But before they moved the bunk beds in, and we still had just the cots, or is it cots? Yeah, the cots. the initial party that set everything up. I mean, a woman is misogyny. So yeah, you know how on like if you pull your headphone jack back when there still was headphone jacks out of your phone or your iPad or your iPod or whatever, it'll pause whatever you're listening to. Laptops didn't do that. So this guy falls asleep, I guess, watching porn, and he rolls over and pulls the headphone jack out, and apparently he was watching deaf porn. So everyone gets to hear, "Oh my God, it felt so good. Oh, Falda." It was crazy.
Why?
Because counting is hard.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, it
By
kind of
the
sounded
way,
like that.
How is it harder to count them today than when they were hand ballots and you didn't have machines that did it for you? It's harder today to run absentee voting, which is different, but that's how it should be. It's harder today to count votes than it was in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 1800s. Why?
Without electricity.
Either way, Pratt likes his shot.
Tonight. Well, obviously got one of 5 more months of me exposing all the failures of our mayor, so it's going to be a fun ride. I hope she's ready.
Are you ready?
I mean, I was born for this, clearly.
Yeah, he's very,
Yeah.
very good at this. If he doesn't win this,
He really is. If this is all him doing this, then at the very least, he should do this for whatever president that he is supporting. Because whoever's running his campaign is, if it's him, it's fantastic. My hat's off to you, Mr. Pratt. Even if I didn't agree with your politics, which so far he just seems like he genuinely wants to make things better. We'll see. Maybe he's just using his dickhead powers from the show that he was on for the betterment of the city, and that could even work too.
as he's going to do something, I would imagine, in the future. He's shown himself to be pretty effective at campaigning. I will say the reason that this matters, and we're going to have to go pretty soon and talk about why Steph Curry sucks. The reason this matters is because so many people, especially generationally, if you are a parent or you have kids, nephews, nieces, grandchildren in their teens, it's incumbent upon you to make sure that they really understand this is not normal, this idea of mass mail-in voting. You are being conditioned to accept a system designed to accommodate fraud as normal. It's never been normal. It's still not normal across the globe. It really will never be normal outside of municipalities or countries where elections are not legitimate. There's a reason for in-person voting. There's a reason for hard copies of ballots. There's a reason for this, just like there's a reason for the Electoral College. And I really, really would caution against anyone who just sort of skims over this, which brings us to, it's not complicated, some solutions. Here's how you solve it. This is not a difficult problem. You ban mail-in voting.
Oh, yeah, there's a new Halloween game. Just wait for that. It's going to be amazing.
That's step one. Boom! Gone. Of course, absentee voters, legitimate, that's always been a thing. You're out of country, you're on a business trip, you know you won't be here, you know you'll be out of state. We have a system for that. That is not the same as sending in ballots to addresses that can't be verified. That's why I got some old ballots sent to Michigan, and I don't know if a vote was cast there or not. Step number 2, require voter ID, proof of citizenship.
Yes.
Okay, do that. Run elections on the same day. Like Mexico and Colombia, and those are awful places. This has been my crazy solution.
Wow, that was so amazingly simple.
It was a short segment.
It's very short.
Yeah, just
Two
really
things.
quick, yeah.
Will it fix all of it? It'll fix about
Most.
80, probably 90%.
Yes.
Probably 90%
Just
of
do
it.
it like Florida does. Same day.
Yep,
Should be easy.
yep.
Idiot.
Exactly right. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle.
All right,
And
let's get into the main thing that I really wanted to talk about today. Oh, yes. So if you don't know, this is from the same people that made what I thought was amazing Friday the 13th game, the Jason Voorhees game. Also, that game is the reason why Jason Voorhees has never been in Dead by Daylight until now. He is now in Dead by Daylight because these guys lost the rights and had to take their Friday the 13th game down, which is awful because I love that game. I love it. I love it. I hope they bring it back. They are working on another Friday the 13th game. I think it's the same people, but we'll see. But these guys also did the Predator game that was just kind of okay. The Killer Clowns from Outer Space game, which was And now this. I think this is going to be a return to form for them, as long as these servers are better than they were for the Friday the 13th game, especially at launch. But it was a very, very fun game, and from what it looks like so far on this, some of the gameplay elements that they're introducing to explain why Michael moves and appears the way he does, just like they did for Jason Voorhees in the in the Friday the 13th game. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be pretty good, and I'm very excited for it to come out. Day one for me. I will stream it. I will stream it and play it a lot. It'll be awesome, unless it sucks. But I'll still play it day one. I recently found out John Carpenter likes video games. Oh yeah, that's another thing I need to buy. There's another John Carpenter. I think he wrote a game that came out, and I'll probably end up streaming that before too long too. But anyway, let's get into this a little bit. All right, just a pause for the cause. I don't want to get claimed again. Damn it! But so far it looks like just look at this. Oh my God! I'm gonna talk over it too because I don't want to get claimed. But I didn't know he liked Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, probably Sonic the Hedgehog was. I mean, it wasn't really. It wasn't really a game. It was just like just go super fast and then stop, jump on a thing, run super fast, go through this wall. I cannot wait for this and to see what that does. But yeah, on the Friday the 13th game, you could shut the power off and disable things, and oh my God! But the best part about these games is there is a way to, at least on the Friday the 13th game, there was a way to incapacitate, well, to kill Jason, and end the game and win the game that way. But other than that, it's basically you frantically trying to get out of whatever situation you're in. To freedom, to escape, to survive. Or you can just kill the fucker, which is awesome. Hell yeah, Patty's Bar drinks beer. I cannot wait. Oh no, there's a mask missing. I wonder which mask it was. Do you guys want to know what mask it was? Was it William Shatner? I love those cars. He also likes Fallout, Dead Space, and Borderlands. Good choices. Oh my God, this is amazing. I kind of wanted to pick up a motorcycle and kill someone with it. Like have it be in like a... Because in the Friday the 13th game, there were environmental kills, so... See, and a lot of people will be like, nothing's happening in this. But no, this is showing your battlefield. This is showing the layout of the area that you'll have to survive in. Oh my God. This is great. This looks like where I grew up. No, 100%. I don't even like unique weapons is cool. I more just want unique kills. Like if you can like catch someone and then kill them in a unique way. Like the bird bath death was one of my favorite ones on the Friday the 13th game. He would take the actual bowl part off, slam you on the pedestal, and then hammer you down with the actual bowl, and then leave it there, and then you were still a bird bath. It was fantastic. September 8th, baby. A single player and multiplayer. Oh. But yeah, Gun and Ilphonic. Not overly familiar with these two. I don't know if they're all extensions of each other, but I know these two names from the Friday the 13th game. Gun and Ilphonic. But I'm super excited about this. So it's going to be a 4v1. Okay, the Friday the... See, and that's one sad bit. Like I do enjoy a 4v1, but I would kind of wish that it would be like a 6v1 or a 7v1, just like the Friday the 13th one. But it is easier to get a full lobby if you just have 4v1. But I really wish it was like you could choose at least 4v1 up to 7 or 8v1 would be awesome. But what do I know? Anyway, let's get into PlayStation's inability to not ruin franchises by switching all the protagonists to women. It's not because they're switched to women that they suck now. It's because the writing sucks and they switch all of them, like the MCU. Have you noticed how they switched all the original Avengers to their female counterpart versions? She-Hulk, Captain Britain, Lady Thor, what was it? Female Black Panther, all the things. Hawkeye, all of them. Literally all of them. Ironheart, all of them.
State of play, the internet has been ablaze talking about the new God of War game that pushes Kratos out of the spotlight. A lot of people have a lot of criticisms when it comes to the character design, when it comes to the dialogue that is featured, even the combat, and people are very divided on this experience. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we had heard a report previously circulating that said Faye was going to be the lead of the next game. I think that this is a very strange move to make because while she is an interesting character, I also think that what they showed doesn't seem like they are taking this very seriously, and I'm perfectly fine with there being a little bit of humor, a little bit of joking throughout an experience that is pretty serious in tone, but this just seems like MCU slop. I know that people are also comparing it to Forspoken. She's got the magic arm, she's got the talking Cuban ribbon, she is making jokes about, I'm not your boss, Frank. Like, there just doesn't seem to be a lot here that is serious in tone.
Atreus deserves his own game.
Except for
I would probably pass on that too, but
creatures and figures that you are introduced to throughout this.
And again, like I said yesterday, or was it yesterday? Whichever day I talked about State of Play, I think it was yesterday. A lot of these games just looked really bad. I don't know what it was. They had a Dragon Age the Velguard lowering in quality that seemed very prominent at the State of Play. Again, I'll probably end up playing Wolverine unless I hear that they swap him out for X-23 halfway through. And that's just out of principle. I would still love to get into an X-23 game. If they wanted to do like DLC on this and they had a game where you just played as Laura and you had a more acrobatic killing style using her foot blade, I could get down with that. But we've waited so long for a good Wolverine game, and the fact that Jean Grey was in it didn't make a lot of sense, just based off the power scaling. Yeah. But Karen Page, she seems like a very sweet girl, the lady that plays her. Sorry, Karen Page is who she plays on Daredevil. She's pretty enough, but she's got a lot of moles on her face. Very prominent moles, and I just think it's funny that she dates a blind man for part of the Daredevil show, and I wonder what story her face tells. I'm so sorry. It's one of my favorite jokes. Braille. Anyway.
Now, I'm not going to show the full trailer. It is pretty easy to find online. But to give you the sort of TLDR, we know that Laufey appears to take bigger creative risks than the main God of War games.
Does it?
It will mishmash a wider swath of mythologies to tell its tale. And
This is people jacking themselves off. That's all this is. Everyone says, oh, they're taking more creative risks. No, they're just pissing off the fan base. That's it. Look, I'm all for a spin-off game. I think that this could be a really good game. I just don't think it will be. Like, I would be more than happy to play a spin-off of any good character as long as the gameplay is tight and the story's tight. But just based off everything that was shown yesterday on pretty much every preview that I saw, it's not going to be the case. Unfortunately, PlayStation has been on a very steep decline.
And I actually think that this is a very interesting idea.
Yeah.
Because after her funeral, she is transported to what they are calling in this experience the everyone. I think that that is an interesting idea.
Oh, okay.
But
So this is set up after she dies, not a prequel. I'm a little more interested.
But will it be properly executed? I don't feel, after watching that 20 minutes, like I am super captivated with what they have shown. I think that if this was a story about a mother and a wife trying to protect her loved ones, but it didn't feature this cringe humor, I think that, yeah, I could be intrigued. But my major issue is that I would be more willing to play a game like this if it was a standalone game that wasn't called God of War. Having a God of War game without the God of War is a wild decision to me.
Okay, well, yeah, the Everyone is an interesting name. I think the name for it is pretty interesting. I like that kind of stuff, like stuff like Neverwinter, or just basically throwing words together to make it sound kind of ethereal. I actually kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. You can argue whether or not it's lazy or sloppy or whatever, but it's got a sort of, back when the Sci-Fi Channel first started, kind of niceness to it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being old.
I could also see them doing a split game where it's 50% Kratos and 50% Faye,
Atreus.
and then by the end they reunite or something. That could also be received more positively. But the fact that we're not actually getting Kratos, except for in like a couple cutscenes probably, and like, oh my god, she's remembering him and she's thinking of him, that is wild. That is a bad decision. And yeah, I mean, there are so many people online who are divided over this.
Especially with, aren't they working on a show or a live action movie or something in tandem with this? You would think that they would really want people who see that, especially if it's good. If it sucks, then that's going to tank the sales of this already. But if the show actually, or the movie, I can't remember if it was a show or a movie, I'm sorry. But if it's good, it'll do wonders for the sales of this. And then they'll see, oh, that has God of War written on the title of it. Let's go get that. And it will be much like Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA one, or The Last of Us Part 2. It will be the most returned or quickly resold games of all time.
Trailers right now are being either negatively ratioed or very closely. Here is the PlayStation upload, 1 million views in 19 hours, 37,000 likes to 31,000 dislikes, so those are catching up quickly. And here is another upload they did for the gameplay reveal trailer, 247,000 likes to 111,000 dislikes. You generally want to see like 100,000 likes to maybe 1,000 to 5,000 maximum dislikes. So 250,000 likes, I could maybe see 15 to 20,000 dislikes max that's still being okay, but it is way higher than that. There are tons of posts calling out the dialogue. This new God of War looks horrible. Millennial writing galore. You're a cube.
Goddess
talking.
of Wind.
Where are we anyway? Afterlife of the Gods. Afterlife of the Gods? Great. So, what's the plan, boss? I'm not your boss, Frank. Like, if that is truly going to be the entire experience, I think that this is going to go over extremely poorly for them. And you already see people online and the media going online saying, oh my God, the anti-wokers are never happy and people always just want to complain. Maybe you should make a God of War game with the God of War and people would be happy. It would be like making a Tomb Raider game without Lara Croft. Who the fuck wants that? Absolutely nobody. I don't think anybody asked for this experience. And like I said, there is a way to tell a story like this. Maybe, though, in a $30 side game, and it's supposed to be a filler until the next God of War game comes out the year after, but that isn't what is happening here. People are sick and tired of seeing their favorite male characters be completely replaced by strong independent females. And yes, okay,
not even real strong independent females, but the ones in quotes. Strong female characters that are so bad. They've even been called out by Emily Blunt, who said strong female characters aren't strong and they're basically just female caricatures of the brutal 80s male action character, but highly less believable. She didn't say all that, but that's basically what she was saying.
Faye is just a chick who magically comes upon, I don't know, a meteor, and he eats the meteor affects her, and suddenly she's got magic powers, or she's sucked into this world unfairly. She's not just a girl that Kratos married. I get that, but at the same time...
Isn't Uncharted Tomb Raider without Lara Croft? No. The same way that Lara Croft isn't just Indiana Jones with guns instead of a whip. I mean, that's probably how they started, but exactly. They made their own franchise with their own lore. They didn't just hijack something else, and they both exist simultaneously. We're still getting more Tomb Raider stuff, and we just had an Uncharted movie not that long ago. But yeah, all these things can exist, and an Indiana Jones game that apparently was pretty good considering the movie that came out around the same time sucked donkey balls, which did affect the sales of that game, from what I understand.
This isn't the game that people wanted or expected, and when your game looks like Forspoken, yeah, that's not going to sit very well with gamers.
Nope.
I know it doesn't look great, but comparing it to Forspoken is a bit, oh my effing life, she's even got the magic arm, and I don't think that graphically this game looks awful. I think the combat looks interesting, and again, the premise of like...
One of these days, we're going to get a really crappy video game that's set up just like this, but the magic is sourced from a little hair demon that lives right here and goes up and spreads around her arm. I can see that coming. It's going to be... It's going to be terrible. It's not just... It's going to be a lot like the hair from the top of the head of Bayonetta, where it's its own entity, but it stems from her armpits and her bush.
Like all of these mythologies being smashed together in the afterlife is neat because that means that there is a lot of potential for different characters and gods to meet. But if I have to deal with a talking ribbon and cube and the millennial cringe writing and dialogue for 20 hours, yeah, that's going to take me out of the experience, and it's going to end up dampening any excitement I would have from these other interesting elements. People are also calling out the fact that this actress is a very pretty one, and they have seemingly made her look what they're going to call more realistic. I've also seen a couple of people in like the comments section of my post saying, she looks exactly like you. Buddy, I don't want to play a game where a character looks like me. Okay, I want to play as Lara Croft. I want to play as Bayonetta.
Strong female character is Wonder Woman, but with an extra leg.
As Eve. I don't want to play as me. It's just that simple. And
hold on. Even if Hollywood comes up with an original idea, the newest female superhero is going to be called the Menstruator. You got to love my female audience. Shapeshifter.
Deborah Ann Wolf is beautiful. I think that she is such a good-looking woman. But it's like we've seen.
I think she's very pretty. She is attractive, but like that and this and like she's covered in moles. She sounds like Larry the Cable Guy's sister.
With so many games, look at Star Wars Outlaws, for example. Humberly Gonzalez is a pretty woman, and they made her look so bad in that game, and they've done the same thing to Deborah here. And this
on Star Wars Outlaws, they made her look where you can't really tell what her race is. You just know she's not white, at least not entirely.
Here is a big piece of the puzzle because Alana Pierce confirmed that she had helped write Laufey. She hasn't worked on it since 2024.
No, exactly. You can't win either way.
But she worked on it for 4
and people don't learn.
years, and I think that, first of all, somebody like her doesn't have a long enough list of work to be writing a God of War game. Like, I definitely think that this is the type of experience you want the most talented writers possible to be working on, so that's kind of strange to me. But second of all, if they're hiring people like Alana Pierce to work on this experience, yeah, you're going to end up with cringeworthy millennial writing because she's worked on games in the past that do exactly that. And so it's just unfortunate to see all of...
Don't I know her from a YouTube channel, Alana Pierce? I feel like she was on something like Machinima or one of the people affiliated with Machinima back in the day.
This happening all at once, especially to a series that so many people love and so many people care about. And now we've got a bit of a war going on online where people are saying if you criticize this, it clearly means you hate women, which isn't the case. The problem with this game is that Kratos is out and suddenly Faye is in. The writing that was featured seemed very, very odd, and the tone was very suspicious, and ultimately there are going to be people who are going to speak with their wallet and say, no, I really don't want to play this when it finally releases. So I'll be keeping my eye on this situation. I don't think that the talk on social media is going to go away anytime soon, and I think over the next day or two we are going to see tons of journos attacking gamers, criticizing this, but for now that's all that I really had to discuss.
Australian video game journalist, video game industry was too small. Pierce moved to America in 2015. Began work as an editor and writer for IGN. That was around the time it started sucking, too. In 2017, she replaced Naomi Kyle as the host of the program. Later that year, she was involved in a staff walkout the company issued addressing sexual harassment allegations made by former editor Callie Page. She co-hosted South by Southwest. I think I remember her from that. Pierce joined Rooster Teeth. That's where I remember her from. And she regularly appeared on Funhouse videos. That's where I know her from. And she co-hosted the company's Inside Gaming News. That's where I remember her from. She seemed all right, but most people do when they have better people with more personality writing for them. But no, I agree. And the two biggest movies in the world right now are made by YouTubers, and they're both in the horror genre, which is freaking amazing.
Be one of two candidates for mayor, or...
Oops.
You guys remember Late Night? Now, you may not know this if you're new here. This was originally a late night show. I didn't have Fox News growing up. I grew up in Canada, where occasionally we could pirate some AM radio. There was no right-leaning content.
People would like the game if it wasn't God of War. It's like ordering chocolate-flavored ice cream and getting a cheeseburger-flavored ice cream. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I wouldn't want cheeseburger-flavored ice cream, but I will say like 10, 15 years ago, they had a cheeseburger flavored Pringle. You could literally taste all the things. You could taste the onion, the pickle. It was the best thing I had ever tasted as far as chips go. And ever since then, chips have steadily become shittier and shittier, to where it's pretty much like chewing on flavored paper. Lightly
we had the
flavored paper.
government-funded broadcasting corporation in Canada, and then we also had American television. So I grew up with David Letterman. Leno Conan was a big fan. This show used to be at night until COVID, where we did 2 shows a day when everyone else was locked down. And we found that many of you preferred or actually watched the late night show in the morning anyway, because the format had changed. And so we kind of hybridized it, and that's what you watch now. But for years, it was later at night. Late night is effectively, so I've lived it, it is dead. Late night as we knew it before. Now the hosts want to try and claim victim status and blame anyone but themselves. It's time for Entertainment Minute. So, and we make all the references every day, links in the description, available 11 a.m. when we stream. It's one thing to say, hey, you know what, it's not working. Because numbers across the board in traditional television are down significantly. Yeah. You look at what Carson used to have. I mean, obviously, David Letterman, Leno would have less than that, because now you have 2. You have 2 choices as opposed to 1 primary late night show. Then you would look and see the numbers be lower than that when it was Letterman, Leno, and I believe Kimmel were still competing. And then it got lower than that when you added people to TBS and other networks. That's the nature of it, for the same reason that you don't have album sales, or very rarely approaching what they used to be. We don't have the same touchstones that we used to, in that we all can kind of curate our own lists. Yeah. We don't have water cooler conversation. So late night, obviously, it's not lost on me, will be the victim of that to some degree. But that's not the claim being made specifically by those leftist elitists like Colbert and Kimmel. Let me give you the claim. Claim from Kimmel. This is a recent Vulture article. He said that it's not organic. It's not changing markets. And it's certainly not our performance. He said, we're not just dying of natural causes. We're being poisoned.
Is it by bad writing? I bet it's by bad writing. Or that you went from being an unbiased source of entertainment so people could unwind and forget about their regular lives, forget about their day-to-day. Just sit back, relax, maybe have a beer, sit with the wife, sit with the husband, whatever, and forget about all the things in the world that bother you. Now, you talk about all the things, and you've picked a side. You've alienated half of your potential audience. No, none of the greats ever did this. Leno never did this. Letterman never did this. Conan never really did this. He might have done it since he stopped being on TV. Carson certainly never did it. And the fact that Kimmel is one of the longest running late night shows, I didn't realize that he had been on the air for like 25 plus years, is astounding to me, especially how he's been in the last 10 years. I will say the best thing about his show ever that I liked, mean tweets, and everything having to do with Matt Damon. The running gag, we're sorry we have to bump Matt Damon, and the fake beef about that was hilarious. It was great. It's literally the only good thing about the show that's ever happened, and you've been a very sad sack of potatoes ever since you and Sarah Silverman split.
Of course, the implication being that they're being poisoned, that they're actually being taken out. He is the victim of some type of government campaign. Yeah. Late night is being poisoned the same way Juliet was poisoned.
Well, time to end it all. Bottoms up. Come on, work already. Why is this taking so long? Forget this.
The finals. Damn you, CBS.
Pretty much.
I can't believe he did that.
Wow. I know. I mean, I can't believe he blamed CBS. Like we just saw.
I can't believe I missed out on that last show.
I know. Here's the truth. So we're being poisoned. No, the truth is you guys are losing the networks tens of millions of dollars. In Colbert's case, it was 40 million. And we actually done some math on you, Kimmel, so I understand why you're protesting it. Here's a statement from CBS specifically with Variety. They said, with this time buy model, because the time that was Colbert in the past, it's now been replaced by Byron Allen, who's buying that airtime for $15 million. He said, with the time buy model, we have shifted an hour that was losing roughly $40 million annually to $15 million in profit, a $55 million swing. There you go. That's pretty clear. Lose $40 million, make $15 million. Far be it from me to say that Byron Allen is a comedic genius, or that this show is going to bring back the quality of a bygone era. No, the network can't keep hemorrhaging money, and Byron Allen's going to buy the airtime.
Yeah. And by the way, they also get the benefit of not having to deal with Colbert.
That's exactly right.
That's nice.
Now, keep in mind that Colbert, he had a salary, I believe his salary was somewhere around $15 million. Yeah. He had 200 employees, including 24 writers. But Kimmel...
24.
Yeah, Kimmel said that CBS was
That's
lying.
a lot of writers
not
for
a financial
something
decision.
like
He said,
all the COVID era really shitty song and dance numbers.
To believe that over the course of those 2 years, they suddenly started losing $40 million a year?
Yes.
These are just made-up numbers. And then I realized, well, first off, yeah, that can happen. Just to be, this is super obvious. Like, sure, you can lose a little bit of money. This is any business, and then you hope to make it back. When you realize there's no hope of making it back because the host is not going to take a pay cut, they're not going to downsize to compete in a more fluid market, a more mobile, a more fast developing and evolving market, then you say, okay, well, looks like we've played all of our cards. This isn't going to work. They just made up the numbers, and that brings me to, I know why Kimmel is playing dumb and or lying, because here's the claim that he makes. That his show is making money. He wants you to believe that. He says, it's not like when Leno, Carson, or even, when Johnny Carson or even Jay Leno were raking in the dollars. That's what he's, what is he even saying? He's saying, I was quite specifically told by ABC that Jimmy Kimmel Live is profitable. That's what he said. I understand why he protests too much, because here's the truth. Or really, a theory. So everything else I've given you the references, I can't prove the theory here that Kimmel is absolutely losing ABC money. But I'll explain to you why I'm pretty confident in it. Doing some basic math, okay? Salary Colbert, like we listed before, check the references, $15 million. Viewership was about 2.7 million. Staff about 200. Budget was about $100 million. He was losing the network $40 million a year, okay? Do we have apples to apples comparisons with everything else and just not the network yet saying we're losing? Yes, we do. So let's look at the salary of Kimmel. Colbert 15, Kimmel 16 million. Oh, viewership, slightly lower, 2.7 million from Colbert, 2.4 million from Kimmel, but that's including the bump with the controversy. It's typically right around 2 million, a bad day, 1.5. Staff, Colbert was 200, Kimmel's 200 to 250.
Jesus.
You look at budget, Colbert was about 100 million, Kimmel's about 120 million. So if I were to estimate the losses,
I'm pretty sure Bill Maher's still doing pretty good. But I mean, I'm fairly certain his show's a lot cheaper to produce. I would hope. But I might research that.
All of the direct apples to apples comparisons.
I might research that today at work.
He is, I would bet my bottom dollar, losing ABC $60 to $70 million a year. Slightly more than Colbert. They told me, though, that I'm making them money. At what point do you just take some accountability and go, you know what? Turns out I suck.
At what point? Not after 23 years.
Yeah. Has he been doing it for 23 years?
He's been on the air for 23 years.
Oh, my God. I remember when he was new and people were like, yeah, this isn't going to work.
23 years of that
I mean, and they were technically right.
And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not retiring. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just ensure that the next guy doesn't get a chance at bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's willing to take less but be more competitive. Just do that. Just drag the ladder up behind you. Now, here's the truth. You can look at those numbers. Of course, it's just a non-viable entity in today's marketplace, late night on network television. And they've chosen to deem themselves so important as jesters of the court who must be followed, that it must be some kind of oppression. It couldn't be a simple financial decision. Well, let me present to you exhibits C through Z after we've gone through the finances. Here may be some examples as to why people, certainly half of the country, most of whom tuned into Carson And shows like Leno, even for a long time Conan or Letterman before they became old and grumpy, they were politically neutral, relatively speaking. Here may be one of the reasons why half of the country is guaranteed to never tune into your show, hence costing the network money.
Oh my God. This was just awful. And why are they all trans?
If hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
That's kind of horrible to say, especially when it turned out to be wrong. And they're like, oh, our bad. Forgive me? No. Fuck you. Apparently, he gets 600,000 views per episode, dropped from 1.8 million in 2023. That's probably because he's become a lot more based over those years. It wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, he's more than likely going to retire in the next 5 years anyway. So I'm sure he's completely fine with it. He's made all kinds of money. I'm seeing here that reportedly earns $10 million annually from his HBO show. That's not true anymore. He generates income from stand-up comedy, which he retired from that, and his book sells. I bought his book twice. Mar has a significant net worth, over $100 million. Earnings can fluctuate. How many people work on Real Time with Bill Maher? Yeah, see. This show typically has a core production team of 20 to 30 members, including writers, producers, and technical staff. Additional crew members are involved for live audience management, guest appearances. But yeah, so a tenth of the staff of the other shows. So, one more question. How much does Real Time with Bill Maher cost to make? About $1 million an episode. So that's... Salaries include cost for the writers, production, and I hear they pay their people pretty well. So, and that includes everything, fees for high-profile guests, experts, so on and so forth. So, yeah, relatively cheaper to make, so he can, and also being on HBO, he will have less viewers than the other. But with the rise of streaming services and such, you know, I'm sure it balances out. But hey, remember back when she was still pretty and not ridiculously thin?
Dogs don't play chess.
It's like a sign language gorilla who got hit in the head. In fact, the only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's holster.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
See, and that's the horrible thing. They put this kind of thing out before the information actually hits, and people believe it because they're sheep.
It happened again. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election.
That's right. More than half the country voted for him.
A little bit because I wear striped shirts. I've
Paris
worn these
Hilton?
heart sunglasses because my daughters just as a joke. They have them, and as a joke, I put them on. So I've done this. And I love yacht rock and being breezy.
There we go. What do we got? What do we got today? Oh, it's steamed chicken. Hey! There we go. Lewis.
Take it on with me.
Now, just to be clear, before I get to the montage of Kimmel crying and then crapping on someone running for mayor who actually may do something about the fires, I want to be clear. I've said this many times, and I catch some flack from people on the right. Like, John Oliver is funny. Jon Stewart is funny. There are plenty of people on the left who are legitimately funny. Kimmel, Colbert, Fallon aren't, he's politically neutral, let's say. They're not amongst them. And I'll give you some examples of people who are on the left but are viable because they're A, funny, and B, not incredibly greedy. It's always these people who are like, these billionaires. You're making $16 million a year. Do you think you could take 2?
That's crazy. Come on, dude.
Take 5? Could that staff, instead of 200, be 50? Could the writing staff, instead of 24,
which is still more than Bill Maher's staff by almost double. Sorry, was that? Yeah, that was Ariana Grande back when she wasn't frail.
10? Because congratulations, you still have a bloated staff that's about 10 to 15 times larger than any podcast host kicking your ass. All it today. One, Jimmy Kimmel. Here he is crying because he feels that that's a big part of comedy.
And he sounds so ridiculously sad when he cries. He sounds like Brick from Anchorman when he's like, I heard their menstruation can attract bears. Tell me you can't hear that when he cries.
And it's performative crying. And I want you to specifically pay attention to the last clip where he's crying regarding the fires that had taken place, in Los Angeles County and across California. Because then the next clip is relevant.
Take a break from tax cuts for a minute and fully fund CHIP immediately. These people who were looking out for their neighbors, more than half of this country voted for the criminal. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family. Oh, it has been a very scary, very stressful, very strange week here in LA, where we work, where we live, where our kids go to school. We are back in our studio, which we had to evacuate on Wednesday. That's our building right there, the El Capitan. That is how close this fire was to our theater here. Many of us had to leave our homes in a hurry. Some of our coworkers lost their homes. That's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I understand
that's
being upset.
bad policy caused by
Here's the thing.
Democrat mayors and governors.
If there's a national tragedy like 9/11, a somber moment is not out of line. That's not lost on me. Kimmel cried at moments when it was never called for whatsoever. He chose, because it's your job as a comedian, as an entertainer, as a host, to help the people who maybe feel like they want to cry. It's your job to turn that tear, hopefully, into a smile. If someone feels alone, if someone feels hopeless, it's your job to help ease that a little bit. As a matter of fact, that's the only purpose you serve as an entertainer or comedian. You're not curing cancer. And so when you talk about, just that last clip, hey, fires, yeah, I get that that's upsetting. Now remember, the left immediately blamed it on climate change. But we now know, beyond any shadow of a doubt, it is the incompetent government of California, of Los Angeles County, right? They weren't allowed to clear brush in the name of environmentalism. Right?
Wow, who said that? Could it have been the orange man that they hate so much?
The California State Park Superintendent Richard Fink said that the state doesn't clear brush because we're here to protect the natural habitat. And they wouldn't allow residents to do it, including residents who could see the concern for their neighborhood and their house. It was exacerbated by the fact that the reservoirs, the water reservoirs, were completely empty. Why? Because of a fish that can't even swim, and a whole thing to do with the dams. Go check the reference. The point is, if you want to keep your citizens safe as a government, and you know that fires are very likely, you make sure to clear the brush. You make sure that on hand, you ideally have water or some type of anti-fire liquid solution, if there's a better one.
Suicidal empathy.
Gas.
Just let us know.
Oh, alcohol.
If it's enough. But that quote is telling. We're here to protect the natural habitat, not our citizens.
Right.
That's what's missing from it, not our citizens. Everything is prioritized, not our citizens.
Well, And here's the reason that matters. Crying, never any accountability. You know what, actually, this is kind of, I was crying, and now I'm really mad because I realize what exacerbated these fires, our government. Instead, he targets and insults the one person running for mayor of Los Angeles whose own home actually burned down and was very likely legitimately crying, Spencer Pratt.
And then we have a guy named Spencer Pratt running for mayor who unfortunately is the Spencer Pratt from the reality shows. After tomorrow, Spencer Pratt will either be one of two candidates for mayor or Carrot on the next season of The Masked Singer. We'll see. The polling shows that he's in a very tight race with Karen Bass and Nithya Raman. How that is possible, I have no idea. I mean, I get why people are mad, but has anyone ever made a good decision when they're mad?
Yeah.
Plenty.
Not always, but sometimes.
Sometimes better.
In the harbor, bro.
Sometimes, but here's the thing. It's not like people are making a decision when they're mad. It's people were mad.
Fed up. They're fed up.
Then they listened to your bullshit, right? People were mad, like, ah, my God, my house burned down. Not you, of course. But they're like, my house burned down. I'm angry. And then you said, it's because of global warming. And they're like, ah, let's sign the Green New Deal or whatever. And then they went, oh, wait, water reservoir. Wait, the reservoirs to be filled with water don't have any of it? Why is that? Wait a second. Brush that we know it will guaranteed lead to fires, wildfire. It can't be cleared? Why is that? Before I was angry, but now I'm educated. So I'm actually angry with the people who miseducated me. I'm angry with you. That's why it's close, Jimmy.
It's also reducing it to, you're mad. No, I'm homeless.
Right.
My house burned down.
Right.
You're mad. No, I don't.
Sorry, real quick. Candace Owens calling anyone slow is like an actual retarded person calling the girls on Instagram who say that they're neurodivergent retarded. I mean, as accurate as it is, are you really the one to tell them that? Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Don't want people shooting up next to my kid's school, leaving the needle there.
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
Or their noodles.
Yeah.
I don't want their leftover noodles either.
Yeah, so people.
That's not mad. That's fed up. That's concerned. That's scared.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, the left will just, and they'll warp it. They'll go, oh, what, so you're scared of Trent? No, I'm not. You're homophobic? No. You're mad? You're mad that your house burned down? Okay, let me be really clear here. It's not just some kind of emotion devoid of logic, like feminism. It is, I don't agree that this is the best way to function as a society, sexual degeneracy, and so I'm voting against it. I'm not mad. I am righteously frustrated and exhausted with a government that has never gotten it right and put me at risk, and so I am voting for a correction. Now, if you want to say that that's anger, if you want to say that that's phobia, fine. Now, argue the logic. Argue the rationale. The left doesn't. So whenever the left tries to do this with you, and you know, I had this with Change My Mind, where you are clear about definitions, about terms, and they go, why are you playing semantics? They're trying to prevent you from doing exactly that, which is what they do, and it's the only way they ever win an argument. They would go, you're just homophobic. You're just voting for Spencer Pratt because you're mad? That's like, no, hold on a second. Define mad. Define phobic. Why semantics? Because you're trying to dismiss my entire point of view, which is far more well-reasoned, with a new made-up term. You don't get to say mad and phobic if I'm right. Let me ask you this. Why were the water reservoirs empty?
Because people in California are retarded, and they'd rather save a fish that can't swim rather than have a water reservoir.
Do controlled burns? And why have we had so many horrible wildfires? What policy do you think has led to this?
Suicidal empathy.
Yeah, it wasn't happenstance.
Right.
It wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah. So don't let them get it like your emotions.
No, it was sapinstance.
Force them to argue the actual logic, the actual reasoning of the argument. And here's the thing too. This is why these shows are very unsuccessful. There are leftist shows, liberal shows that are successful. So let me give you a really clear example. My favorite one. I have said this very often, and conservatives will get mad. Jon Stewart is one of the best. He's funny.
Yeah.
So Jon Stewart, from 99 to 2015, hosted The Daily Show. It was like around 2.5 million, okay, to be clear. Now, Trevor Noah came in his first year, 1.1 million. And by his final season, it dropped to 380,000.
Yeah.
Ad revenue dropped by as much as 90%. So Trevor Noah took a gift.
Because no one liked him.
Crapped all over it because he wasn't funny and failed. Jon Stewart, he's now actually brought the numbers back up to only when he hosts 1.2 million.
Yeah.
That's on Mondays. He hosts on Mondays.
And it's just like when Jon Stewart took over from, I can't even remember the name of the guy who did it before Jon Stewart took over. But he sucks. Craig Kilborn. Yeah. Yeah, I had to really rack my brain. I might have smoke coming out of my ears.
Now, granted, it's not going to be as big as 2.5, but that's in the 90s and early 2000s where there weren't as many options. 1.2 million is a very respectable number on cable. Trevor Noah couldn't maintain that because he sucks. Jon Stewart doesn't suck. I disagree with Jon Stewart. He's very good. You can see this with plenty of other hosts, just not Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, my God. Kalshi Politics. Breaking. Hunter Biden has a 14% chance to run for president as a Democrat in 2028. I want this to happen. I really, really, really do. It would be so funny to see how many people get behind him as a serious candidate. And I hope another instance happens like when Jeb Bush ran for president in 2016. I hope there's a person like Trump there in the Democrat Party who slaps his bitch ass back to the pipe. Anyway, continue.
Just not Stephen Colbert. Certainly not Fallon. And as you see, certainly not Trevor Noah. You still have to be good. Clapter can't be enough always. And that's why it's dying.
I like that term.
It's not someone poisoning you. And this is an actual call to anyone left in late night. If you're on the chopping block, I would like to see a single person, because we've not seen this yet, offer to cut their salary in a way that would be actually proportional with the viewership. If it was a podcast, you could actually have some auditors come in, right? Valuators go, okay, if you had a show online that averaged about, really, let's talk about 1 point something million. Okay, this would be the staff. This would be about the average income and ad revenue, which is far more appropriate than these bloat. I would love to see one of these hosts go, you know what? I'll take the pay cut, and keeping a third or a fifth of the staff is better than none. Let's actually try and do this right. You want to be subsidized. That's the problem. No one should care about money, except for the guy who hasn't earned it. I got to keep my 15 mil. All right. The rest of us will...
And if you were honestly a good and virtuous person in this situation, you would drop 5 to 10 mil off of your payday where you would still be making millions of dollars so the rest of your staff could eat.
Actually have to earn our keep. How about that? The network is just trying to save money. It's that simple. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the live deal...
But anyway, make sure you support Crowder. Make sure you support Miss Vera Dark, especially. She works hard over there. And make sure you join me this late summer, early fall for a lot of Halloween gameplay. I know I keep talking about it, but I am going to get back into streaming games on all the things, including Twitch, Twitch is the only place where Twitch and Kick are where I am officially monetized, at least able to get subscriptions, and I'm really racking my brain. Guys, let me know if there's anything that I can do that you would recommend. For I don't like you two being here specifically, Yanuka and Shapeshifter. You being here every day, keeping the engagement up, and just making me smile every day is more than enough. But if you have any suggestions on how I can attract other people to drop some subscriptions, what would entice people, I'm good at selling things, but I'm not good at figuring out what to sell. So let me know. The possibility of merch will eventually be in the future, but I got to get to a certain point before I can really start seriously considering that. And I am going to be working a night job, so I can start getting some of the things that I will need for that. So, but anyway, that being said, guys, you guys have been awesome. Shapeshifter, Yanuka, I appreciate the hell out of both of you. You guys are my rocks. You're always staying here, sticking solid for me, and it's much appreciated. And you make the show a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. But until tomorrow, this has been Alfie Animus for the Associated Guest, signing out.